Alright, welcome back guys. In this video we are going to see how we can create this business flyer inside Photoshop. This is not a speed up video as I'm going to show you everything step by step. So let's jump right inside Photoshop and get started. Alright, my intention is to create this flyer for Instagram. So I'm going to go to File and choose New to create a new document. The recommended width and height is 1080 by 1080 pixels. Click on Create. And here we have a new document. Let us go down here to the adjustment layers and add a solid color. Let's leave it black and delete the original background. I'm also going to delete the marks because it is not needed. To the toolbar on the left, let us click and choose the ellipse tool. And on the options bar, let us make sure we are set to shape. And under the fill, I'm just going to leave it to white. I don't need a stroke, so I'm going to disable the stroke. Just click somewhere in the center here and then hold the shift key to constrain the proportions. While still holding the shift key, you can hold the space bar to move the circle to your desired location. This looks nice. I'm going to press Ctrl T to transform the ellipse and hover outside this bounding box and just click here to rotate it around. Click OK to confirm. Now I'm going to grab the ellipse tool one more time, and this time I want to change the fill to any abstract color, just like so. I'll create an ellipse just like so and move it to the upper portion and then let go. Now let us deselect everything by clicking on this empty portion. Then I'm going to grab the pen tool from the toolbar, and then on the options bar I'm going to make sure we are working with shape, no fill, and a stroke of 10 pixels. I'm just going to use the pen tool to trace a path around these other shapes on the canvas. So I'll click somewhere around here and drag. The reason I'm clicking and dragging is because I intend to create smooth curves. Even when that action is still active, you can always hold the space bar to move it around. I'm going to release right about that position and move the pen tool somewhere here. I will click and drag again. Now we can hold the Alt key to further refine the path we have just drawn. With the Alt key, I can click on this handle and control it irrespective of the other handle. To disable this leading control handle here, I'm going to hold the Alt key and just click on it. Now I'll click somewhere around here, hold the Alt key, click again on it to bring this control handle. This control handle is going to determine the curve I need to draw here. I'm going to come to somewhere right about this position, click and drag it upward. Even if it doesn't look right on the first try, I'm going to let go, then hold the Alt key to manually adjust it the way I want. Now I'm going to hold the Alt key and click here to disable the leading control handle. Then I'll just complete the shape by clicking around just like so. I think on the option bar, let us actually give a feel to this shape to make it stand out. I'm going to click on the stroke and disable it. Now the reason we are creating this shape with the pen tool is so that we can use it as a clipping marks. So everything looks nice. I am going to go to File and choose Open to load an image from my hard drive. This is the image I intend to use in the design. So I'm going to make sure I select my marquee tool, right click, and then choose Duplicate Layer. I'm going to click on this pull down menu and choose the untitled one. That will send it to this document we are currently working on. Now let's return to the document. To be able to make sure that that picture fills up only within this portion, first I'm going to make sure it is directly above the shape layer I created with the pen tool. I'm going to enable it, hold the Alt key or the Option key if you're using the Mac, and just click in between the two layers. That is going to add a clipping marks. Now I'll select my Move tool, and with the picture selected, I can move it around. Now let us go to the picture background, right click, and then choose Convert to Smart Object. As you can see inside here, we have just the stairs going up. We need to reveal more of the picture. So I'm going to press Ctrl T to transform it, zoom out, and then grab this handle and scale it down. Make sure it fits within the design and click here to confirm. Now I think everything looks better. Let us select the background layer and then grab our ellipse tool again. And this time on the options bar, I'm going to change the fill to a nice color. I'm going to select the background layer and then grab my ellipse tool one more time and just create an elliptical shape just like so. For this, I don't actually want the black stroke, so I'm going to go on the options bar and remove it. Now let us press Ctrl T to transform that shape and scale it up. Then why not bring it down here? And when you are done transforming, you can confirm. Don't bother about the colors guys, we are going to adjust all the colors when the design is okay. Now I'm going to add some text. So I'll grab the text tool. On the options bar you can see I'm using the Lato font set to black and a size of just 10 points. Let us click on the black color here to pick white, since we'll be placing the text against the black background. You can just sample this color and say okay. I'm going to add our services, hit escape key to confirm that change, press Ctrl T and scale the text up. Then I'm going to make sure the layer is deselected. Then I'm going to go on the options bar and change the font weight to regular this time. Now I'll just click and input some random text. Then I'm going to select this button right here on the options bar and ensure that the tracking is set to 0. Then I'll confirm. And then I need to duplicate it one more time, so I'm going to hold the Alt or the Option key, and when I have those double-headed arrows, I'm just going to click and move it down just like so. Now I need to add some numbering to this text, so I'm going to make sure my ellipse tool is selected, and then I'm going to zoom in, and on the options bar I'm working with no fill and a stroke of 5 pixels, which is white. So I'm just going to click somewhere here, hold the Shift key to make sure it is proportional, and just position it somewhere like so. Now I'm just going to grab the text tool, make sure nothing is selected, and then just click inside here and type 1. Now with the move tool, you notice I have auto select turn off, and that is very useful in situations like this because you want to move things intentionally. So for me to be able to select this ellipse, I'm going to hold Ctrl key and click to select it. Now I can transform it by pressing Ctrl T and just scaling it down so slightly. Now on the layers panel, I'm going to make sure the ellipse is selected, then I'll hold the Shift key to select the one and hold the Alt key. Then I'll click here and drag it up to duplicate those texts. Then with the copies still selected, I'm just going to move it down, and luckily my smart guides are turned on. That is why I have this reference guides on the screen. Here on the layers panel, I'm just going to double click on the one copy and change it to 2. Now at this stage, I think let us organize what we have done so far. So I'm going to come here, select this layer, hold the Shift key and select the uppermost layer. Then I'm going to hold Ctrl this time to add services to it. Now we have just this layer selected, and I'm just going to press Ctrl G to group them, and I'll call this group text. Now let us add the name here. That looks nice. Then the next thing we need to add is a tag line. Now let us add a straight line in between here. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, zoom in, and I need to make sure the fill color is white and no stroke. Then I'll just click and drag inside here. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to manually move things around. Let us organize everything we have here into one group. Now we can easily toggle the text on and off to focus on different portions of the design. Now let us grab the rounded rectangle tool and let us just click somewhere on the screen to draw. Now I have some text which I prepared for this in advance, so I'm just going to pause the video and bring that in. Now the next thing we are going to do is to import some social media icons. You can locate them from your hard drive, but in my case I already prepared them in advance, so I'm just going to import them inside Photoshop. As usual, let us put everything inside one group, so I'm going to select everything here and press Ctrl G to group them. Now with this basic layout, let us now take some time to work on the colors. So I'm going to switch to the move tool, and I'll begin with this color right here. I'm going to hold the Ctrl key and click to make sure that shape is selected. Then I'm going to switch to my black arrow or the path selection tool, and on the options bar I'm going to click on the fill and choose gradient. Now in the process of testing this document out, I created some custom gradients which we can select right from here. But for you to be able to create your own gradient, you can click, that will bring up the gradient editor. Basically what you need to do here is to click these color stops and pick different colors from here. And do the same thing here. So for example, I'm going to click on this first color stop here and make the color lighter. Say OK. Now if you need to save a custom gradient, you can input the name right here and then go to new. And then you say OK. Next time it is going to show up in this list. Next I'm going to press V to go to the move tool, then hold Ctrl key to select this shape. Then I'll switch to the path selection tool, and on the options bar I choose gradient. And since we already saved a gradient, I'm just going to select it. Let us do the same thing here. And if you need to have controls over this gradient, you can control things such as the angle, or you can even click on this button to reverse the gradient, just like so. Now I'm going to hold the Ctrl key and click in this white portion to select the white ellipse. Then I'll press the A key to go to the path selection tool and choose gradient. I think that looks nice. As you can see, the gradient gradually fades from this portion to this portion, and that is actually how I set it. Now if you need to brighten things up inside the building, we can make sure the building layer is selected. Then I'll go to adjustment layers and add the curves adjustment layer. Right now it sits directly above the picture. So if I were to click in the middle here to add some highlight, you will see that the whole design gets affected. But I only want this change to affect the picture. So I'm going to hold the Alt or the Option key and click in between here to make sure it affects just the picture. By doing that, guys, we came up with this design and I think it looks nice. You can actually share it on Instagram because the dimensions are okay. If the text here appears to be too big, you can scale it down, adjust the colors and everything to match your custom color palette. So, thank you for watching the video, and if you found this video very helpful, kindly subscribe to encourage the channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Bye bye.